Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about 6 things that you don't want to miss when you go to Morocco. If you are planning a trip for the first time, you're going to have an incredible experience. But the tips I'm going to share with you today are 6 things that a person who's traveling there for the first time could possibly miss, and if you know what to look for, it's going to enhance your already incredible trip even more. So if this is your first video you're seeing, you might not know that the reason that I do these videos is because I love Morocco so much. And my goal here is to just share with you the things that I've learned over the several times that I've been. I plan women retreats to Morocco where we go and we learn about the culture and have an incredible experience in the desert, learning about Morocco and all the things that it has to offer. So the first thing that I want to share with you to pay attention to is Morocco's intricate tile work and woodwork. If you're not paying close attention, you could miss some of the incredible artistry that tells the story of ancestry and culture. The Moroccans and Morocco in general is a masterclass of architectural artistry. And if you go into a riad and you put your bags down and then you leave immediately, you might not notice the intricate detail that is lining the doors and the pillars and the shutters in the riad. So pay close attention and you'll be so impressed. On every corner of Morocco is this artistry that is just unmatched by anywhere else. The next thing I want to share with you, if it's your first time in Morocco, is to notice as you were driving along through different cities and villages in Morocco, notice the fruit stands. You can't miss them, they're on the sides of the road, but some people might pass by them and not stop to try the fruit. However, I will tell you that if you get the fruit in the right seasons, it's some of the best fruit you'll ever eat. For example, if you go to Morocco in January, you'll have amazing oranges. August is where you'll find the most incredible watermelon and melons. And then if you go in July, you'll get the best treat where you'll get to go pick fresh dates off the palm trees in the oasis, which is pretty amazing. But if you stop and try the fruit, which I highly recommend, you'll want to make sure that you wash it off with your bottled water just to make sure it is clean. Like I said, you'll find this in small villages as you drive along, and if you are working with a guide, he'll be able to direct you to the best stands that are available with the fresh fruit. The third tip is one of my most favorite things about the Morocco architecture, and that is the rooftops on the riads. So likely if you go to Morocco, you're going to be staying at what is called a riad. A riad is a type of hotel that is very much a Moroccan feel. Like I said, it has this intricate tile work and woodwork, and they are just beautiful. They're not as pretty on the outside as they are on the inside, but when you go in the front door, you'll be amazed at the beautiful detail and decor of the riad. So if you're staying in a riad, you might not realize that most riads have incredible rooftops where you can go up top and see the beautiful panoramic view of the city. They'll sometimes have a lounge or even a swimming pool. And so I highly recommend that before your stay is over at that riad, you take time to go up the stairs and enjoy the view of the top of the riad and just take some time to soak that in. The next tip I'll share with you is more location specific. It's more specific in a certain region of Chefchaouen, which is also nicknamed the Blue City. So Chefchaouen is known to be a very cultural village where a lot of the practices and traditions are still being practiced that were many, many years ago. So as part of the community, Chefchaouen has a community oven where people go and bake their bread. And if you are lucky and get there at the right time, you will be able to be there when the community members are pulling the bread out of the oven. And there is a special element to the bread, and it is that it has the flavor of licorice, which sounds interesting, but it tastes amazing. Just that little hint of licorice flavor. It doesn't cook out, And so when you taste the bread, you can taste that little hint of licorice, and it's one of the most interesting flavors you will ever taste. So I highly recommend, if you're planning to visit the Blue City, try and get some artisan bread that's coming out of the community oven. Another element that might be missed if you're not traveling to Morocco with a guide is along the way you'll find the cedar forest, the Azro Mountains. It's part of the High Atlas mountain range, and within the cedar forest are monkeys. And these Barbary monkeys are pretty significant in the sense that they hold traditional value among the people. However, when tourists go through and see this cedar forest and the monkeys, they have the opportunity to feed them. And there's locals there selling peanuts where the tourists can purchase a bag of peanuts to feed to the monkeys. And if you walk around a bit, chances are you'll get to find a monkey feeding its baby, which is a pretty cool experience if you've never been around monkeys or been able to feed monkeys in real life. So the only thing that I would recommend you need to watch out for is that if you are holding a bag of peanuts and the monkey gets close, it will snatch the whole bag right from your hand. And same with your phone. So if you're feeding the monkeys, you'll want to make sure that you hold on to your phone tight or put it in a pocket where the monkey can't get to, because they will snatch anything out of your hand. But the experience of feeding the monkey within the cedar forest of Morocco is so unexpected. It just makes for a really incredible experience. And the final tip I want to share with you today is probably the most important, and it is to visit the desert. If you are planning a trip to Morocco for your first time, you might be looking at cities like Marrakesh or Fez or Chefchaouen, but are you incorporating the desert as part of your trip? Because if no, I would highly recommend shifting your agenda a bit, especially if you think this will be one of the only times or one of few times that you'll be able to be in Morocco. Now, if you go to the desert, it does add time and it does add cost to your trip, because it's likely you'll want to hire a guide and take more days to get out there, but it is well worth it. If you don't go to the desert when you're in Morocco, it's like going to Namibia and not seeing the safari animals. The desert, to me, is the highlight of the Moroccan experience. So when you're in the desert, that is where you'll get to sit down and understand the culture of the nomadic people, the Amazigh people, and that's where you'll get to experience 4x4 rides along the sand dunes. That's where you'll take your camel ride and hopefully have a stay at the camp that's in the middle of the dunes. And that alone is an experience worth going to Morocco for. So if you happen to get to Morocco and you don't have the desert on your agenda, I highly recommend shifting your trip around so you can fit that experience in. I rarely go to Morocco, well, I never go to Morocco without visiting the desert, because that is by far my favorite part. So there you go. There's my 6 tips that if you're a first-time traveler to Morocco, you are not going to want to miss. And hopefully, if you are planning a trip to Morocco, you have an amazing experience. If you have any questions or wonder about a good guide to use when you go, feel free to leave a message in the comments and I can share with you my favorite guide that we use when we go. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more of these videos, remember to subscribe. See you later.